Everybody's talking about the Fantastic Four. Of course, now the actor strike is over, so we're getting plenty of updates on this film, to say the least. I mean, we got Pedro Pascal as our Reed Richards, which technically, I guess it hasn't been officially confirmed, but everybody's taking it as confirmed. We got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storr. We got Eben Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. We got, supposedly, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the one that I'm really not happy about. But, yeah. Basically, we have our cast for the Fantastic Four. I also talked about the other day, Galactus, of course, he's going to be the main villain of this movie. Javier Bardem is in talks for the role, so check out the video I did on that. That's really exciting. I think another great Fantastic choice. But another villain who may or may not be in this movie is, of course, Doctor Doom. I mean, Victor Von Doom and the Fantastic Four, they go hand in hand. But we've known for the longest time that he wasn't going to be the big bad of this movie. He's not going to be the main villain. He may be in the movie, but he's not going to be the villain of the film. I mean, he's been the main villain of every other live-action Fantastic Four film, and, wow, I mean, look how that turned out. I mean, Doctor Doom, if you're going to introduce him to the MCU, he is a character that needs to be built up. He can't just be a one-and-done villain who's introduced in a Fantastic Four movie and killed off by the end. No. Doctor Doom has potential to be a Thanos-level threat, to be a saga villain. He's that big. He's that important. And if they do him right, he can be really important. He can have a huge presence in the MCU. But part of that, of course, comes with casting. And Doctor Doom is a character that, again, we don't, this whole time we haven't really known if he was even going to be in the movie. He's not going to be the main villain, but will he be in the movie? Some reports have been saying he may be in the film for at least a little bit, maybe a cameo, maybe a post-credit scene, maybe a small supporting role. Maybe it'll even be not actually Doctor Doom, but just Victor Von Doom pre-Doctor Doom. That's also a total possibility as well. But again, it comes down to the casting. Can you get a really good casting for this role? And there's been tons of ideas out there in the past. You know, obviously fan casting is a big thing, especially with a big character like this. But one of the problems that we've always had with fan casting Doctor Doom is everybody goes for the white guy. And Doctor Doom is not white. Now, today, we have a report on an actor who may be in talks for this role, and it may solve that not being white problem. So over on the John Campea Show, of course, John Campea on YouTube, go check out the John Campea Show. On yesterday's episode, when talking about Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, he mentioned that a source came to him. Obviously, he didn't disclose who the source was, but a source who supposedly he trusts came to him and mentioned that Mads Mikkelsen has had discussions with Marvel Studios about Doctor Doom. Now, that doesn't mean he's been cast. That doesn't mean he's been offered the role. That just means there's been discussions out there. But Mads Mikkelsen theoretically is in talks for Doctor Doom. He's had conversations. Now, did those conversations go anywhere? We don't know. But this, I think, would be a fantastic choice, especially considering that years ago, Mads Mikkelsen, even in interviews, confirmed himself that he would love to play the character of Doctor Doom. So there's interest there. He wants to play the character. And I think, again, it would just be a great choice. Going back to the whole Doctor Doom's not a white guy thing, especially because, you know, we know the MCU, Fantastic Four, Kevin Feige wants to do a more diverse Fantastic Four. You may have seen that quote going around the last couple of days when it came to the casting of Pedro Pascal, is they were like, this Fantastic Four seems a little, quote, too white. So this is a way to make it less white. Mads Mikkelsen is from Denmark, which is a European country, and Doctor Doom is from an Eastern European country, aka Latveria, in the comics. So, bada bing, bada boom, we got some Doctor Doom right there. And Mads Mikkelsen, on top of that, is just a fantastic actor. I think he could really pull off the role. I think he's got a good voice for it. I think he's got the broodingness of the character. And also just looking at him here in this picture, he looks like Victor Von Doom. I mean, him in the suit and tie and everything, he looks like a Victor Von Doom. But then, you know, you give him the helmet, the mask, the hood, the cape, the armor. we got ourselves a Doctor Doom on our hands. And this, I think, again, would be fantastic. Now, actually, that's a pretty funny pun right there. Fantastic Four, huh? You get it? But anyway, one of the other things that people are talking about with this is, yes, Mads Mikkelsen would be a great choice, a fantastic choice for Doctor Doom in the MCU, but the problem is he's already played a character in the MCU before. He, of course, played Caecilius, the main villain of the first Doctor Strange movie. Now, yeah, that is an issue, but we can go at it from two perspectives. One is what the best example I can think of is obviously when it came to Reed Richards, there were a bunch of names thrown around, one of which was Jake Gyllenhaal. One of the biggest reasons I was completely against that idea was because Jake Gyllenhaal already played Mysterio. Now, Mysterio was a big character in Far From Home. Caecilius was also a big character, but at the same time is a character that nobody really cared about and is very completely forgettable and not very memorable at all. So I don't think anybody would really care about this. Plus, I mean, Caecilius is very dead. Mysterio supposedly also dead, but at the same time, Master of Illusions, he can totally come back at some point, and hopefully he will. But also, Marvel Studios has double cast actors before. Gemma Chan was a small villain as Minerva in the first Captain Marvel movie, and then came back for a leading role in Eternals as Circe. And so they could do a very similar thing here where, like, nobody really cared about him as Caecilius. I mean, he did a good job in the role and everything, but just nobody, it wasn't like a super important character, to be completely honest. Bring him in for a much larger role that is more deserving of an actor like Mads Mikkelsen, because if that's the only time we ever see him in the MCU, that was a complete and total waste of Mads Mikkelsen. So this, I think, would be a fantastic choice. But also, you know what would also be kind of a good choice if we don't get Mads Mikkelsen? Pedro Pascal. I talked about this, well, I didn't talk about it in the actual video itself, but the other day, obviously, with all the Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards news, I at least put a little note in the comment section mentioning how over 2 years ago, I did do a fan casting video for the MCU Fantastic Four, and I fan casted Pedro Pascal in the MCU Fantastic Four, not as Reed Richards, but as Doctor Doom. I think Pedro Pascal I think he's going to be a great Reed Richards, but I also think he would be a really, really awesome Doctor Doom. Maybe even a better Doctor Doom than Reed Richards, but I'm still happy to see him as Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four nonetheless. But I mean, Mads Mikkelsen is a great choice as well. And if he ends up being cast, which again, clearly he has interest in the role, he checks all the boxes for this character, I would be so extremely happy with this. This would be probably the best casting out of all the MCU Fantastic Four for this movie. I would be really extremely happy with this. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you excited? Doom is coming. And what do you think about the idea of Mads Mikkelsen in the role? Do you think that's okay? I mean, he was already in the MCU before, but could they get away with it? Or are there other actors you have ideas for as well? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.